Mohammed Siddique and I have been in business and have known each other for less than 2 years. And probably I've known of him less than 3 years. And we really have been in touch with each other on a daily basis for less than 1 year. Now, 1 year is 52 weeks. 1 year is 12 months. It's 365 days. And it's hard to imagine in less than 1 year, it feels like I have a friend for life. Someone I'll call my friend, Mohammed Siddique, you know that you would probably do that for him too. And if you don't know him, then I would encourage you to get to know him. What is surprising is that 1 year feels like 10 years. And the reason it feels like 10 years, when I say 1 year, it's just shocking to me. It's surprising. It's astounding. But you probably have relationships in your life where 1 year feels like 10 years. Hopefully, it's not a family member or a friend. Hopefully, it's someone in business because you trust them so much. How is that possible? How can 1 year feel like 10 years where you would do almost anything for them, yet you've known them 1/10 the time that you've known other people, yet you're willing to do more for them? And to me, it comes down to one word: integrity. If someone is so integrated that I can predict them, if someone is so integrated, which is where the word integrity comes from, that I can anticipate their next move, if someone is so integrated that I can trust them with the lives of my family, then 1 year could feel like 100 years. Because when they are consistently full of integrity, and when they're out of integrity because something changed, they quickly make good for it by explaining what happened. You see, I believe that there are 3 ways to handle an agreement that is integrity-centered. The first way to handle an agreement is to keep the agreement. There is a due date, and if you keep the agreement before the due date or on the due date, then you are integrity-centered. You are full of integrity. You're integrated. The second way to handle an agreement is to renegotiate the agreement before the due date. If you do that, then you are full of integrity. You can be anticipated. You can be trusted. You are predictable because you're doing it before the due date. If you do it after the due date, you can't be trusted. You are out of integrity. Renegotiating after the due date, when you had all the time prior to the due date to renegotiate, even saying, I want to renegotiate, that's enough to start the renegotiation process. Many people don't do it. They hide. You are in integrity if you renegotiate before the due date. You are out of integrity, according to me anyway, if you do it after the due date. I don't care what culture or what ethnicity you belong to. I'm Armenian descent, and Armenians have a certain way of doing business where being on time, at least here in this country, is not a priority. They are integrity. So I always show up half an hour late because even operas in Armenian start half an hour late. That's just the culture. But they're still in integrity. If they showed up on time, they would be out of integrity. Now, you may be smiling, but it's true. Now, the third way to handle an agreement that is integrity-centered is to unmake that agreement. You had to make it. To unmake it is to no longer make it applicable. Say, I know I can't live by this agreement. Now, if you unmake it before the due date, then you are in integrity. If you unmake it after the due date, or by simply not following through on your part of the agreement, you're out of integrity. And the risk that you run is not being trusted, not this one time, but forever. It's like a crack in a dam that's holding back water. Have you seen what happens in a crack? A crack, a small hairline crack in a dam is like a hairline fracture in a bone. Initially, nothing happens, but soon the pressure in a dam with water, on a bone with walking or living, and that crack gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and that little doubt becomes big. All of a sudden, the dam explodes. The bone breaks. Why? Because it's out of integrity. It loses its integrity. So integrity in business has to do with making and keeping agreements and renegotiate them before the due date, keeping them on or before the due date, or unmaking them before the due date. If you live within that realm, then you will be, like Muhammad, Siddique, and I, friends for a year, but it feels like 10 years.